So if I'm bullish on the markets, how does that square with my take on Wellington or even Wellesley Fund? My man Carl asks. Pretty good question. The easy answer. What if I'm wrong? There's a lot to be bearish about too, man. What if I'm wrong? I mean, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. That's why diversification 100% makes sense. Now, I don't want to be diversified in foreign stocks because America, baby, America, love it or leave it. Take that, Canada. But I have no clue. I look at Japan. Japan is the point A for what if I'm wrong, and the markets get crushed for a 30-year time frame. Bonds look great in Japan over that time frame, 100%. What's going on now with NATO trying to start a World War III, to get the government defense bills passed so we can spend more money and make the purveyors of war wealthier beyond possibly imaginable. And the way we do this is, forget what happened in Afghanistan, forget what happened in Iraq, forget all these other things, but now let's focus on what Russia is doing now. And it just is nuts. Now let's focus on China going to Taiwan. It's nuts. It's war. Warmongers. They run the things. If we go in a protracted World War III, even a Cold War War III, that could be problematic. Now people say, well, we had a Cold War from basically 1947 through 1990, 1989 or so, and the markets did pretty well back then. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we don't know that will maintain. We don't know. What if we go to a hot war? I have no clue. I mean, this is why you have to be diversified, man, just because you just don't know. What if we go in a protracted recession and even a depression? Stocks got smoked in the 30s. Bonds did just fine. There's a million different ways to look at this. So I am in Wellington. By far and away, my biggest holding is in Wellington Fund right now. Simply because if I'm wrong, I want to make sure I got enough, what's the word I'm looking for, cushion to say, look, I look at my money as this. I'm 51, getting ready to turn 52 in about 3 weeks. I look at it like this. I've got to have enough to pay this mortgage. All right. If I have enough to pay this mortgage, I'm going to be okay. Because my mortgage is by far and away my biggest expense with how much I'm trying to pay for it, if that makes sense. So I cannot afford a apocalyptic collapse, of an 80% decline a la Japan or a la 1930s. I can't have that because then my portfolio would be down so much, it'd be hard to sustain it with a mortgage. Remember, the reason people go bankrupt is only one reason, because they had debt. And if you think about, what's that, the thing with George, the angel from It's a Wonderful Life or whatever, remember Mr. whatever that banker's name was? I forgot that guy's name. The banker, well, he owned the debts. People owed him debts, so he was able to put people out, put people bankrupt. If you don't owe anybody, they can't put you out. Now, the government cannot grant you. They can do whatever the hell they want. We all know that. But at the end of the day, it's not likely to the government to put you out, whereas the banker certainly can. So my thing is, I got to be able to pay this mortgage in order to keep the roof over my head. And then, I want enough to obviously pay the electricity bill. I get all that. But the mortgage is my biggest concern. So if I have to dig deep into my portfolio, taxes and penalties notwithstanding, I'm going to do that if that's what it takes to keep the mortgage over my head, the roof over my head, and pay off the mortgage. I got too much of mortgage. If I didn't have the mortgage, I'd be more inclined to be a little bit more hell's bells and balls to the wall, but I don't, and that's because I got the debt. Now my income is pretty good. That's fleeting. Income comes and goes, man. Just trust me. Look at any recession. You can see it. You can just see it now. It's happening. Let's see what he's got. What is he doing? What are you doing, dog? Stop. I've had that chair. Oh boy. I've had that chair for 20 years now. And it was just fine until Pablo started scratching on it. But I love that dog. I won't change a thing. Anyway, so your investments should always be positioned in case you are wrong. You don't want to just freaking go all in one. I mean, look, you do whatever you want. But for me, I'm like, dude, if I'm wrong, I got to make sure I got bonds in there to cover my backside so I can pay the mortgage. Now, I still think the markets are got upside. Now, again, of course, the market's having upside doesn't mean they're not going to go bull and bear. But I'm only 51. I got many years of growth ahead of me. Dividends reinvested. But if I'm wrong, and we go into protracted recession, depression, Japan, I got to make sure I got bonds to pay the bills. All right. Love your thoughts. We'll see you